Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut. I hope you like this video and subscribe as we begin this show and we begin this off season. We've got a week into the off season. Boy, a lot has happened in that first week. Buck Showalter was fired. Billy Epler resigned. David Stearns is now the new president of baseball operations, the first ever president of baseball operations. And we've seen a lot of people leave the Mets organization, a lot front office, so he's going to have a lot of work on his hands. There are names popping up in terms of a general manager. I have another video on the Baseball Hut too, talking about who's going to come in. It's being reported out there. I'll have that later on. But in this video, we're going to talk about some free agent options the Mets might be looking at this offseason. I got a list here from Mesmerized Online. I'm not too enamored with it, but we'll talk about it anyway. But before I get into this, I have what's called the Prospect Hub, which I talk about the Mets prospects, and you know that's a big thing here. Mets have really stocked the farm system in a big way, and I've been doing a lot of videos on them. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I'll put the link in the description for that channel. And you need to hit the subscribe button. Very important to do that. I also need you to, of course, subscribe to this channel. You want to know what's going on in terms of all these different free agents. So here we go. The first one, the first name that I think you know, and I know, and everybody else knows, guys in the Amazon. Lost tribes in the Amazon will know that the Mets will be talking to this guy. Shohei Ohtani, starting pitcher, he's going to be on the disabled list, injured list, and he's going to, of course, be a DH for some team. But he is the real big name, the historically big name. Just read you some of the stuff they have here in Mesmerized. Shohei Ohtani's forthcoming free agency is among the most highly anticipated cases in MLB history. It's not often the best player in the sport reaches the open market, and even that label may be selling Ohtani's talent short. He was the best hitter in the league this season, as he sliced. Well, we know he did. He's one of the best pitchers in the league. Signing play of Ohtani's caliber comes with a heavy bevy of benefits both on and off the field, making him a dream acquisition for any team. There have been numerous reports regarding the Mets' interest in him, and it would certainly appear that owner Steve Cohen is willing to go above and beyond to bring Ohtani to Queens if he decides to leave the West Coast. That's really the question. Does he want to leave that part of the country? It's a foregone conclusion that he will command the largest deal in baseball history, surpassing Mike Trout's $426.5 million packed with the Angels. This despite some lingering concerns about his longevity and durability as a pitcher following his elbow surgery in September. To sign him, it goes with a risk, and the risk being obviously is the injury to his arm, and he's going to be 30 years old. But in terms of the first 5 years of any kind of contract you get from him, probably getting one of the greatest players of all time. He's still not Babe Ruth. A lot of people have been saying, he's better than Babe. Do more than 3 years and we'll see. 3 years does not make you Babe Ruth. And I know Ruth did it different times. Was pitcher separate from a hitter. But he's not Babe Ruth yet. At number 2 on this list is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. As we know, the Mets signed to a rather reasonable contract as it turned out with Kodai Senga. And Senga pitched really well. He became the Mets' ace this season. In a rather disastrous season. But he's going to get a lot of Rookie of the Year votes. He's going to get a lot of Cy Young votes. So the next big name that we're going to be talking about is Yamamoto from Japan. The buzz around Yamamoto's name has been palatable for quite some time now. And for good reason. The 25-year-old, and that's the key. He's 25 years old. Senga's 30. Has taken Nippon professional baseball by storm since debut in 2017. Now, he's been the best pitcher in Japan. The one thing about him, just so you of note, he's 5'9". He's not a very big guy for the mound, but he's got great stuff. He does very hard, and he has a splitter, a more classic splitter than say Senga has. Senga has that forkball, but the splitter that Yamamoto throws, they say is better, if that's possible. The article says this: the Mets' interest in Yamamoto has been well documented, with John Heyman of the New York Post reporting that those around the league believe the club covers the star pitcher and will throw their hat to the ring as the potential highest bidder for his services. It seems to be around baseball that he's going to be the guy The Mets are going to be the team that are going to sign him. That's what the word is. After an illustrious career in Japan and an impressive showing in the World Baseball Classic, Yamamoto appears ticketed for a contract near $200 million once posted, and will classify as significant signing by David Stearns and company. Now that's the one thing I was thinking about this last little bit. Obviously, with the new guy in charge, and without a general manager in place now, the ideas for this team have changed. So I wonder how Stearns looks at this. We don't know much about Stearns other than his work with the Brewers. And he did not have that kind of budget that he has here in New York. So it's going to be interesting to see where he is with this club and how he runs this team. Hopefully he's not going to run it like Sandy Olson ran it, where he didn't want to spend a lot of money. But they didn't have the money that they have now. But that's an interesting thing to look at, where this team goes. Because he's going to bring his own people in to be the general manager and the manager at some point. Number 3 on this list, Jordan Montgomery. Now, this is an interesting player because he's pitched in New York. He pitched for the Yankees, and he was traded from the Yankees to the Cardinals. And what turned out to be a bad trade for the Yankees. They got Harrison Bader, but Bader didn't stay healthy. But anybody who saw Montgomery knew that this guy was a good pitcher. He's consistent when he pitches, and he pitches in big spots, and he's pitched really well for the Rangers. I would look to him if I were the Mets. But he has had some injuries. 2 guys. This is one guy I'd be very interested in, and Aaron Nola would be another guy I'd be interested in. Nola will get a few more years than Montgomery. But the Mets need to fill out this rotation a little bit with a veteran. And the guy in the middle of the rotation, and I think Nola and Montgomery could be guys, for me, I'd be very happy with in terms of where they could fill in. At least you gotta find another veteran starter in here to fill in the gaps. Guys that are consistent, guys that pitch and aren't hurt. Nola's not hurt a lot. I mentioned him a lot. And obviously Montgomery is very good. Real quality arms here. Next on this list, and I'm a little sort of a bit of a question mark, is Adam Duvall. Mets have a surplus of young infield talent that's ready to make a splash at the big league level, but the cupboard and the outfield is a bit barren. Sure, Drew Gilbert may very well rake his way onto the major league roster at some point next year, and it's possible Ronnie Mauricio, at least on how Acuna shift out there, but a lot of question marks remain about the status of the group for 2024. With Brandon Nimmo as the player that can truly be locked into a defined role as of right now, the Mets would greatly benefit from bringing in outside reinforcements to bolster their situation. That's another issue here with the Mets. Their outfield situation is not very good. With Starlin Marte having been hurt, and you cannot rely on him next year to be an everyday player. You have to start looking for outfield help. Outfield help and a third baseman could really go a long way in filling out this lineup. But Adam Duvall is not a guy I'd be interested in. The guy he did not stay healthy last year with the Red Sox, so I just totally disagree with that comment. And the Mets could use another bat in this lineup. If you're gonna bring in a guy that's 35 years old, a veteran player, you better bring in a DH type, because then at least maybe you could bring in a guy, say like a J.D. Martinez or a Justin Turner. To sort of fill out this lineup a little bit. And those guys had really good years last year. You know, Martinez was still playing for the Dodgers, and obviously with the Red Sox, Justin Turner. But Duvall doesn't interest me. I mean, he's the kind of move you bring in when you're a late season push. Now, the last name on this list, which I don't think should made this list, not because I wouldn't think about signing him, but I don't think this is a priority. With all the issues the Mets have, and that's bringing back David Robertson. Now, Robertson did a great job here with the Mets, and he was brought in primarily to be the setup man for Edwin Diaz, who will be back on the mound and in that clubhouse. And you could bring in Robertson. There's no rush to sign him, so I don't know. I'm very surprised that Robertson is on this list, quite frankly. I don't know if it's worth noting and going out of your way to sort of add him onto this. When the Mets obviously have needs here, like I said, they need a third baseman. I do not trust Brett Beatty. Mark Vientos is not a competent fielder, either at third or first base, in my view. Ronnie Mauricio, is probably going to be an everyday player. Will he be an everyday player on this team? I don't know. He could be somewhere else. They make him available in a trade. This team obviously needs outfield help. They need help in the rotation. I wouldn't have a problem with Robertson, but on this list, kind of, I don't know. I don't get it, to be honest with you. Why include him on this list when there's other players that you can have on this list? So that's my response to this list. I will go through the free agents more, deeply as we get later into the off season. We're not quite there yet. Another couple of weeks. We'll see who wins the World Series. But before I end this video, I need you to, again, subscribe to Prospect Hub if you want to know what's going on in the Met Farm system. I got every little bit of detail, every scatter report you could possibly imagine on it. So, of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut. I'll put the link in the description. Trying to get to 700 subs first, then to 1,000 eventually. So thank you for watching this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. I'll see you later.